What's going on? This is Jay Wiggins representing the guest host for the Culturocity Report. Right here with me, I have Mr. W. Jerome Stevenson and Brian C. Scott, who both respectively play Bono in the hit play Fences, and we have Troy, one of the main character of Fences. How you guys doing today?
Well, thank you.
Glad to be here.
Most definitely. For those of you guys who don't know, Fences is a play written in 1983, correct me if I'm wrong, by a playwright named August Winters.
August Wilson.
August Wilson, excuse me. He wrote the play in 1983. The play is set in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the 1950s. So with that being said, what made you guys get into acting?
Man, I was one of those kids that my mom started me in school plays, and I was always interested in performing, and I was a singer, and I did all this kind of stuff. But I got to college and then realized that this craft of storytelling affected people in a real visceral way. Like, you could have black audiences and white audiences together in the same space, and for the first time they would communicate about things that they wouldn't actually talk about in real life, but they would respond cooperatively. So if the son dies, everybody in the audience goes, oh, and they realize, we share a lot more than we have, that is different between us. So that's how I got into it.
Right. Well, for me, acting was more of therapy. I started acting in 2011. Actually,
Wow.
I had done some church plays here and there prior to that, but really seriously getting into acting was in 2011. I was here in Oklahoma, not from here originally. I'd been here for 2 years, didn't know anybody, and was just looking for an outlet. And so I found that I could just get on stage and just play, and just, be somebody else for a little bit. And I just really got into it and caught that bug, and I've been doing it ever since. Just fell in love with it.
Most definitely. I could completely understand that. So tell me about the audition process for Fences. Tell me exactly how you heard about the role and how you wanted to be a part of the play. We'll start with you.
Okay. I had heard that the Pollard was going to be doing Fences. I did not know when it was going to be, and I was in another play, Without Crowns. It was written by LaCharles Purvey, a local playwright.
Okay.
And so the night before Fences auditions, the cast of Without Crowns went to go see Killer Joe, another play that was here in the area. And LaCharles was having a conversation with someone else, and I was sitting right next to him. He was talking about Fences auditions being tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I gotta be there. Anytime there's anything Fences related going on, I'm trying to be there. And so I went and got my resume together and put things together and just went from there. I came out to audition, wanting to audition for the role of Troy, of course, but the director immediately just he wanted me for Bono, and just he was directing me towards that, even in the audition process. And so it was a pretty harsh process. It was very grueling. I was very nervous, more so than I usually am.
Yeah.
More so because of the demeanor of the director, and I didn't know what was going to happen. As soon as I started my monologue for my audition, he stopped me immediately. He was like, "Stop! I don't want that," and just immediately started making corrections on the spot, and just really changed my approach to the audition. And it just it went from me wanting to be Troy to just wanting to be in it.
Yeah.
I'd do anything. I'd be Ray Nell. I'd do whatever you want me to do.
I feel you.
And so I started really looking at Bono in a different light and really looking forward to the role, and it's been a blessing. It's been a great experience.
Most definitely.
For me, obviously, I'm serving as the artistic director for the theater, so I knew we were doing the show. And we talked to, I originally had another director in mind, but that director fell through and we couldn't make the schedules work because of some personal issues. But so we brought in Akeem. He's doing this process, and I said, look, right off the bat, I want to make it clear to you, I would love to be in the show, but I want to audition for you. First of all, I like working with directors who don't want to work with me. But secondly, I want you to say, this is the guy that I want to do this role, whatever the role was. And so he said, well, here's what I'd like you to do. Read before everybody comes in, so I have that in my mind and kind of hear what you sound like. He did the same thing to me. I started on that process. Was doing, just one of my standard monologues. He was like, don't do that. Do this. Let me see you do this. And it was kind of like, wait, what? Okay, no, but and finally what I figured out is he was just trying to see where I was malleable, where I could be moved, where I could be, molded into something. And so that became a really kind of fun, engaging process. And then as he started to bring us into callbacks, I was like, okay, well, he's got me reading for Bono with this person. He has me reading with Troy for this person. And I thought, well, it just kind of depends on maybe the age of the person and who he ends up with. And then he had us read together. And I was like, it felt super settled. Yeah. And the minute I kind of did it, I thought, well, if I get it or don't get it, I really enjoyed that process. I hope he gets it, And then he called back and said, hey, I think this is who I'd like to use. I think it'd like to be you two. And it was like, I'm on board. Bring it on.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So I saw the motion picture before I ever saw the play. Okay. The most amazing thing that I got from the motion picture was pretty much the first 15 minutes of the play, where you had the relationship of Bono and and you as well, and you guys had that long monologue, and then of course the actress that played Rose later joined into that. And I thought it was beautifully done, beautifully written, beautifully performed. And then to go see the play and see it verbatim, you guys did it the exact same way. Tell me some techniques that you guys do to memorize your lines. I can only imagine how difficult that was to be to perform, especially since they're using language and slang that was unique to the 50s and the Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania area.
First of all, I think when Denzel decided to make the movie, he was committed to making August Wilson's film. He fortunately didn't let Hollywood fix it. He didn't let them change it. August Wilson is a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright. He won a Pulitzer Prize for this play. It's probably one of the most, telling pieces of work in the American canon of theater. And I'm not just talking about African American theater. I'm talking about, I put him on par with Tennessee Williams. I put him on par with Shakespeare, in all honesty, because he's such a poet and then writes these truthful stories in the poetry. And then for us, I think it's just a matter of, at least for me, and I struggle with trying to get every word right. Every day I find something new that I need to fix. But at the heart of it, I think what you do is you find his rhythm, and you read it, and you read it, and you read it. I probably read a play 250 times before I'm comfortable with that language, so that I'll never have to think about it. I want to visualize what it looks like on the page, and so before I even have to, I say it, I can see it in my mind, so I can see what it looks like on the page. And that way I don't have to worry about that. I can actually worry about relating to him, dealing with her, playing with this guy, never stopping to go, oh, what's the word? Because that'll kill you. That'll kill a performance faster than anything.
Most definitely. Absolutely. So was it intentional that the pilot release of Fences was so close to the motion picture created by Denzel?
It really was. I have a committee that decides these things, and we meet together and we kind of figure out what plays we'd like to do, and then ultimately I have to make the last decision because I'm the artistic director, and I'm the artistic head of the pilot organization, which means I decide what the work we do on stage is and feels like, and how the shows go, and the quality of the directors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we knew that we wanted to do Fences. We knew that it was one of those pieces that we finally had cultivated a cast or a talent base and an audience that was ready for that work. We have tried to build progressively towards doing more and more African American works. We've done Essex Strange, we did A Soldier's Play, we did Hairspray, we've done The Color Purple. And what we tried to do over that period of time is cultivate both the artist and the audience, so that there were more people coming to see those shows and there were more artists available to do them. We felt like we're at a place where we could probably get that show done now. But with any play, it's hard to spend a ton of money on a play. musicals bring in so much more traffic than plays. Audiences have to be, intent in listening and just hearing a bunch of words for 2 hours, and sometimes they go, well, I don't want to do that. I'd rather watch Netflix. And so you don't want to spend, any more money than you have to, and you want to make the show as good as you can possibly make it. So when we found out they were doing this film, it was like, that's perfect. We have a tool that allows the marketing from the film to tell the audience what the play is, and then we can piggyback off of that and say, and not only is it extraordinary and it's going to be wonderful with Denzel Washington, it's even a different and better experience when you're seeing it live in a space that is this small, that is this intimate, with people that are larger than life, and it helps an audience to be sitting alone in that group of strangers and going, oh my gosh, oh no he didn't, oh I can't believe it. I mean, they generally respond that way in a way that they don't with the film because it's so far away.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So, as we stated before, you play Troy in the play Fences, and you study his character back, forth, and back.
That's right.
What part of Troy's personality can you find in yourself?
Like Troy, I like to talk. I'm a pontificator. Like Troy, I can be a pretty bombastic personality. I can be bigger than the room at times. I also think that, like Troy, I have an immense capacity for love. I think that's the key to what Troy is that he loves with almost a ferocity. It's almost greater than the people can bear. The problem is he doesn't love with any insight into the people. He loves only the way he knows how to love. Very early on, the playwright makes it very clear that he kind of teases her about sexual activity in front of Bono, and she doesn't love it. It's not her favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
But she goes along with it, and she always says, "Don't do that," or "Stop that," and he never stops. He always makes some point to talk about, "Oh, how are we gonna do this tonight, that tonight?" And she says, "When your dad hugged, he bruised, because that's who he was." But I loved him in spite of that. So I have that ability. I can be a little rough around the edges.
Most definitely. And you were Bono.
Yes.
In the play. What personality traits does Bono possess that you can also find in yourself?
Well, as Troy's best friend, Bono is very loyal, and in a lot of ways, I see Bono as kind of the glue of the Maxon family at times. Even though he's not a blood member of the family, and I feel like in real life, that's something that I bring to my friendships and relationships. I try to be very loyal, and if it's someone that I'm particularly close to, I don't have a problem inserting myself into a situation if I feel like it's going to be beneficial and helpful, and if I see a friend about to make a mistake, without giving away too much for those who haven't seen Fences, but if I see a friend about to make a mistake like Troy was about to make, it's something that I'll say, hey man, what are you doing here? You're messing up here.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from experience for Bono himself. He and Troy were in prison together. They knew each other for years. They were friends even before Troy knew Rose.
Yes.
And so, they're day ones essentially. And so, I feel like in that type of relationship, it's something that I will go to bat for my friends and my family. And, that's something that Bono and I definitely have in common. And another thing is that, he's viewed as more of a sidekick type of person, but don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? When it's time for him to step up in there and confront you on something, he won't hesitate to do that. And I can be mild-mannered, like that sometimes, but
definitely.
Don't get it twisted.
Absolutely, amen.
Well, I absolutely love Fences. Fences is a play that touches on marriage. It touches on friendships, best friends. Touches on infidelity. It touches on mental illness. It just touches on a bunch of culture. So with that being said, when can we catch you guys performing the play Fences?
Well, we run for 3 weeks, including this weekend. We typically have performances on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights at 8 o'clock, and then we have some Sunday matinees at 2 o'clock. So we'll run that until
March 4th is our last performance.
Okay, and this is at the Pollard Theater in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Do you get to know the address offhand?
As 120 West Harrison.
120 West Harrison. So once again, all the way until March 4th, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you will be able to catch the play Fences at the Pollard Theater in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Pollard.org is the website.
And Pollard.org is the website, and the plays always start at 8 o'clock. The thing that was beautiful about it is, as soon as it hit 8 o'clock, at 8:01, the whole auditorium got dark, which let me know that they were starting right on time. So make sure you are not late, because if you go to the website, it'll tell you if you are late, you may lose your seat.
No CP time.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And CP stands for California people.
Precisely.
So once again, I'm Jay Wiggins, filling in for my man Brian C. Scott for the Culturocity Report. Thank you for watching, and here's some clips from backstage of the play and some interviews. Thanks for watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is how I prep for every show. Literally.
The show was great. It was truly an American classic. I advise everyone to watch it.
This cast worked their butts off. We felt every feeling that they were conveying and expressing. We felt it, we hurt for them. It was powerful.
It's fantastic. They did a great job.
Very well done.
Thank you, Jesus. We're come together again and put another short fence in. We're gonna tell the story of all this well said. You got Troy, you got Lion, you got Mono, you got Ray, you got Dave, you got Rose, and the ever lovely pie. What's your name again? Great man. She knew I got her name wrong. We're gonna tell the story another third time. We're gonna break every leg we can. Thank God for the chicken spaghetti and the ham sandwich we'll have on stage. Let's go and give everything we got, just like we've done so far. A little louder. Get a little louder one more time. Talk about love, 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 love. Fences and break legs on 3. 1, 2, and 3. Fences and break legs! All right.